Let's take a look at some of the phones I used. This was my first phone. It was a Nokia. Any idea what the name is? It was called Nokia 2100. It cost me around 6,000 rupees or around $100. Not many stores were selling this, so I had to go to a special store to get this. It was in 2003 and I used it for 8 months. By the end of it, I was pretty good at using it. I could use the phone quite fast by just using the number keypad rather than using the menu. Again, it had quite a few features, but it was mostly calls and SMS. Battery lasted 2 to 3 days though, so that was nice. So the next one was the Sony Ericsson phone, which had a color screen. It was called Sony Ericsson T630. It cost me around 8,000 rupees or around $120. The boxes these phones came were quite big compared to what we get now. This phone had a camera, even though it was very tiny though. I used it for 1.5 years. It was in 2004, and this also had quite a few games too. The color screen was quite impressive for the time though. The joystick controller in the middle eventually broke by the time I was done with it. Next came the Nokia phone. This had both the front facing and the back facing camera. The back camera was quite good, but the front camera was pretty useless because you couldn't use it for anything. Even though they promised video chat, the network was not that good at the time. Cost me around 15,000 rupees or around $225. It had quite an impressive screen, which was very big, and the camera on the back was also quite good for the time. I bought this in 2005. Used it for 1.5 years. Again, really liked this phone. It was a Windows mobile phone called Dopod 818 Pro. It came with a stylus. Windows UI was quite crappy to use, but it was amazing what you could do on this phone. It had the start button and menus and everything. It was quite fun to use though. I paid around 23,000 or around 345 rupees. I bought it in 2007, used it for 11 months, and it was eventually replaced by the iPhone. This was something magical. I couldn't believe how slick the UI and the phone was. Even though it had no apps, it worked quite amazingly. Everyone I showed this to was quite impressed. The pinch and zoom was kind of amazing to experience and see. I had to jailbreak it to make it work in India. It cost me around 27,000 or around $400. It was very pricey and none of the shops were selling it, so I had to go to a special store to get it. I bought it in 2007, few months after launch. Used it for 2 years. It was really fun to use it. After using iPhone, I was quite tired about jailbreaking, so I switched to Android and got this HTC Hero. Had quite a few widgets. paid about $3,200 for this, or around $475. It was in 2009. Used it for 11 months. You could customize it a lot. I wanted a really good camera, so I got this Samsung Ultra Touch. It had a 16 megapixel camera. Paid about 15,000 rupees, or around $225. The phone was really slow to use, and the interface was quite bad. Even though it could take good photos, it was quite hard to do anything with those photos. Even copying them was quite a hard thing to do, and that widget interface was quite horrible to use. In 2009, I only used it for 1 month and tried something new. Looked quite businessy and cool. I really wanted to use the chatting app. None of my friends had it, so never used it. Really liked the keyboard though. Operating system was really bad. Cost me around 16,000 rupees, or around $235. This was in 2009. Only used it for 2 months and gave it away. It needed a special email and internet connections. Interface to set it up was also really bad. You had to reset it quite a few times, so I eventually gave up and went to Windows Mobile. Bought the HTC HD7. I really liked the tile interface. This was the first version of Windows Mobile, so it was really painful to use. The interface was quite good, but there were no apps. None of the major apps were available on the platform. Cost me around 30,300, or around $450. Bought this in 2010. I still used it for 8 months. Then I got the Samsung Galaxy S2. It was a really good phone with quite a nice screen. It was really fast too. Paid about 30,600, or around $455. Used it for 17 months in 2011. I gave this up after 2 years because it never got any updates. Then I went to iPhone 5. It didn't need any jailbreaks, so it was really fun to use. Worked really well. Paid about 45,000, or around $670. I bought it in 2013 and used it for 2 years. Then bought the iPhone 6. This was the perfect phone. Nice screen, very nice design, and the minimal UI was really nice. Paid about 53,000, or around $790. Quite pricey though. Bought it in 2014. Used it for 19 months before it broke. Then I had to travel for a few days, so I desperately needed a phone. So I got this cheap Samsung Guru. It was quite a good phone. The battery lasted more than a week, but you could only use it for calls and messaging though. But a really tiny phone and a pretty impressive battery. Paid about 1,200 rupees, or around $20 or so. Used it for 1 month in 2016. Then I got this cheap Android phone called Redmi 2 Prime. The interface looks quite close to what Apple's UI looks like. Really nice specs for the price. I paid about 7,000 rupees, or around $110. This is by Xiaomi. Used it for 1 month in 2016. I switched to this Life Win 4 only because it came with a free 4G SIM and free internet for 6 months. Paid about 8,500 or around $125. I'm still using this for free 4G internet. It's been nearly 8 months. I rarely used this phone. I was only using the 4G hotspot on this phone. I only bought this phone because that was the only way to get the free 4G internet. I wanted to buy the iPhone 7, but I got the iPhone 7 Plus just for the camera. I think the iPhone 7 would have been the perfect sized phone because the 7 Plus is quite big. Paid about 72,000 rupees or around $1,075. Got this in 2017. This is the 7 Plus. Really nice phone. Can't wait to see what's out there. Quite nice. Check it out.